see it on the left truck or not? It's up to you. It's going through.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Mr. Mayor, it's after 7.
Almost ready, Nancy?
We're all set. We're waiting for you.
Okay, I'd like to call the 7 PM work session meeting called to order. Please have a roll call, Nancy.
Mr. Boonstra?
Here.
Mr. Fisher?
Here.
Mr. Melchiong?
Here.
Mr. Shanley?
Here.
And Mayor Madigan.
Here. Nancy, could you read the open work session?
Yes.
Please.
This regular work session meeting of the Wykoff Township Committee is now in session. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting appears on our annual schedule of meetings. A copy of said annual schedule has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall. A copy has been filed with the municipal clerk and has been posted on our municipal website. A copy has also been emailed to the Record, the Ridgewood News, and the North Jersey Herald News, all newspapers having a general circulation throughout the Township of Wykoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda thereof was similarly posted, filed, and emailed to said newspapers.
Thank you. Can I confirm the Finance Committee has signed all the vouchers?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Can I get a motion then for 10-minute public comment period? 10-minute public comment period, 2 minutes per speaker for public comment on any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be a concern to the residents of the Township of Wykoff.
So move. Second.
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Madigan.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Anybody from the public wish to come forward? Please identify yourself. Tell us where you live.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Janet Toomey, 501A Aspen Lane in Spring Meadow. And good evening to all. And I just have a few remarks. Won't take 2 minutes, I don't think. First of all, thank you to Matt for encouraging the DPW workers to be at the back of Spring Meadow, facing the police parking lot. And I'm sure the residents and the members of my community are happy to see that. Every little bit helps, and people notice it because they've told me about it, so that's good. Or good to notice the good things. Second thing is, I was able to go to a meeting of our board because it wasn't on our night here. And I never go to them because I'm usually here, where they have the same calendar. And they were mentioning again how wonderful Memorial Day was. And I had told you a couple of times, I think, how wonderful my community thought it was, and I got a million, tell them thank you. And I know it was important to you because I knew how hard you all worked on that. And our community is going to be contributing some kind of a memorial, some kind of a wreath or something next year.
Great.
And that was, it was proposed last year, but like all boards, they put it off. And one of our residents who told me that there were a lot of people at that particular memorial that day from Spring Meadow, and there's a lot of veterans there too. So they were very delighted to be approved for next year, so I want you to know that. And also, you know, the traffic on Wyckoff Avenue, you know how bad it is, you all know how bad it is. And that people have difficulty with that area. But anyway, they're
Well,
nice.
that's because it's summer, right?
Excuse me?
Because it's summer, because
Well, I know the summer is
even I
ridiculous.
can't get through
Yeah.
town.
Well, my husband goes around the opposite way
I
of.
try, but all those streets are clogged.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, I
stay
know.
off the roads, 8:15 to 9:15, 3:30 to 4:30.
Right, right. 8:45, 8:30, whatever. It is very bad. But they're very nice, my husband said. He has now gone around the block. He knows another way to go, goes around the block, and he goes to the middle of the line, and they let him in, because they know we're one of our community, and they let him in the line. Whereas before, when he was right at the beginning of the line almost, they didn't let him in. He doesn't understand why the strategy works, but nonetheless, it's a little helpful. So thank you very much.
Ms. Toomey, just one comment?
Yes.
On the, because I didn't have an opportunity to comment, on the parade, obviously we take great pride in our parade. I'll make sure that not only do we all pass it on to our parade committee, but we have two members right here, Pete Melchione and Scott Fisher,
Yeah.
part of
Oh.
our parade committee, and I'm sure
Yeah.
they're gonna bring it back.
I knew that from
It was-
listening to them.
It was great, but thank you for your kind words.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was well noted. They keep even talking about it now, so.
We had a
And
good
then the
crowd.
other night, being at the board and
Yeah, that's
hearing that
great.
member, let the board do the right thing.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir, you getting up, or are you getting up for Mrs. Toomey? No? All right,
Seeing and hearing no one else, I move to close public comment.
Second.
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Melchione?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Madigan?
yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Okay, thank you. Our Business Administrator, Matt Cavallo, you want to give us a snapshot of our 8 o'clock meeting?
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Several resolutions. First is a resolution to, which is required by our 457, which is our deferred compensation plan. We're making some, there are some regulatory modifications that need to be made to the plan. So this resolution authorizes Diana to execute the contract, the amended contract. 222 authorizes a new Bergen County mutual aid, fire mutual aid plan. If you recall, at our reorganization meeting, we would pass a resolution authorizing us to enter into agreements with all our surrounding municipalities individually. Bergen County and the state have come up with a way that we no longer have to do individual agreements every year, that we now enter into a county-wide agreement that covers all the county, and then the county enters into a state agreement which covers all the towns in the state, so that we don't have issues like, as you know, we border North Haledon and Hawthorne, so we don't have issues crossing the county borders. So this will be authorizing the execution of that plan. 228 authorizes the renewal of our shared service agreement with the local school district, the K-8 district, for our vehicle maintenance. This is for a period of 5 years. 229 authorizes a award a contract for the FlexiPave path completion at Russell Park. This is covered under a Bergen County Open Space grant that we received in 2019.
Matt, is there any timeline on that? I mean, by
Meaning?
October 1, or do we know
No.
any dates?
No.
Okay.
The work itself has to be done, on the grant, there's no timeline. On our grant, on our award, it has to be done by September 30th, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
Same contractor that did it the last 2 times, Waters and Bugsby. We actually had them out here to inspect the pavement that was done 2 two years ago and 2 years before that. They're a very responsive firm. We're very happy that we
Great.
got them as the lowest bidder again. 231 authorizes our membership in the Passaic County Cooperative Pricing System. As you recall, we've entered into these several with other counties before. There are two ordinances for introduction. The first is an ordinance to amend our salary ordinance that was just adopted, and the second is a ordinance to provide for a capital improvement and acceptance of a $25,000 grant that we have received from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection to update our stormwater mapping. There are several motions which will be read into the record at the business meeting. And that is all I have. Oh, sorry, and there is one other. There is Resolution 230, which authorizes or acknowledges the appointment of an acting township attorney. As you are aware, our esteemed attorney, Rob Landell, has been nominated and confirmed as a Superior Court judge, and as such,
And sworn in.
I believe he started on Monday. His partner, Ari Bernstein, is now going to be taking the helm temporarily until the Township Committee makes a final determination going forward on that. So that resolution is also on the consent agenda. As for a few updates, pre-construction has occurred last week for the 2023 road improvement program. We expect that project to begin on or around July 31st. We will be applying for a grant through the New Jersey Department of Agriculture for the purpose of spraying for the spotted lanternfly at our town tree farm at Russell Park. It's only a small grant, $15,000 is not going to get us very far, but if we can try and protect our assets there, that's what we're looking to do. Through our grant writer, we've also applied for a grant through the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation for the amount of $20,704,000, sorry. This is for the purchase of a Lucas chest compression machine that will be in our one of our on-duty police cars at all times. And I'm pleased to report that if you recall, several months ago, we passed a resolution applying for a LEAP grant. That was the local, it's the shared service grant through the Department of Community Affairs. We applied as Oakland, Franklin Lakes, and Wyckoff. We have been successful in our first round. We have been awarded $50,000 to complete a study of the solid waste and recycling collection and the possibility of bringing it back in-house as the three towns. Franklin Lakes is the lead on this grant, so they will be at some point in the future, near future, soliciting proposals for the study to be completed. And then we'll be hopefully bringing back the results to you guys before, right after the first of the year. With regard to our SLEO 3s, our Special Law Enforcement Officer 3s that we've been talking about at several meetings, we have moved forward in the hiring process for 5 of them. We did have 6 on the list, 1 backed out, so we are currently looking for 1 additional officer. That posting has been up for about a week now. Our agreement with the Board of Education, local Board of Education, has been signed, and our agreement with the St. Elizabeth School is under review at the Archdiocese currently. 2022 audit is complete. Our exit conference is scheduled for this Friday, and I'm being told that we have no audit comments again this year. I want to thank Diana and Fran for that, and all the rest of our department heads, because really it's not just a financial audit, it's a functional audit of all our departments. Building department, engineering, the clerk's office, animal control, and finance. We are going back out to bid next Monday for the additional tenant on the sports lighting pole. As you recall, Dish wants to be a potential tenant on that pole. They did not bid the last time because they did not have a Public Works contractor registration, and they did not want to sub the job out for the installation. So they have, my understanding is they have applied and they have received their public works contractor registration themselves. So we are going out to bid with the hopes of getting another tenant on our sports lighting pole here at Memorial Field. Ridgewood Water has been very responsive with a ongoing groundwater issue that we have at the library. We have chronic groundwater at the library. Ridgewood Water is coming out every 3 days or so and flushing the hydrant there in order to keep the line clean. But it's been determined that the line for the library itself needs to be replaced. So that they are expediting the design. They will be purchasing the material this year and hope to have construction in spring of 2024. They are looking also, right now that's a dead-end line, so they are looking at the possibility of designing that so it's no longer a dead end and it loops into the system somewhere, so that we no longer have stagnant water just sitting in that line when the water's not flowing through it. I want to just give a reminder to our residents about our prohibition on Airbnbs and VRBOs, our short-term rentals. You must, if you're going to be renting your house on those apps, you must have a rental for no less than 31 days, and you cannot rent individual rooms. We've had several issues. Also, with the app Swimply, which is where you can rent your backyard or your pool, our ordinances do not permit that. We have been in contact with all three of those major vendors, Airbnb, VRBO, and Swimply. They're not as easy to get in touch with as you would think, because they're all through their contact us page, through contact us forms on their webpage. But when they start receiving summonses from us, hopefully that'll wake them up a little bit that they need to follow our rules here. Unfortunately, the State Health Benefits Commission has announced a preliminary figures for the health insurance increases for 2024. On top of the 21% that we already had this year, they're looking at 7.4% additional for next year. Those are the numbers that came from the actuary. So I'm sure there'll be some political games done down in Trenton, and those numbers will fluctuate, probably come down a little bit. But I don't expect them to come down very far. Unfortunately, we went through several health insurance holidays at State Health Benefits over the years where 0% increases were given, and the actuaries recommended 3s and 4s, so we're making up for them. And finally, the state aid numbers for 2024 were certified as part of the 2023-24 fiscal year budget for the state of New Jersey, and Whitecliff will be receiving an additional $65,000 in state aid this year. That is all I have on my report for this evening.
Thank you very much for that very thorough report. And just to prove that we don't do anything rehearsed, I would like to officially welcome Ari Bernstein here, who's our acting township attorney. Ari, thanks for pitching in. I know you've been here before. At the same time, pleased to announce that Rob Lindell, a township attorney, has moved on to be a judge. I think we're very happy for him. We're pleased and we're thankful for his many years of service as an attorney, but more importantly, as a member of our community in so many ways. So we wish Rob all the best. And Ari, you get the report in a couple of spots, so I know you'll be ready, and I'll say some words then, okay?
Thank you very much, Mayor.
All right, that's great. Okay, report of township committee members. Mr. Melchione.
All right, thank you,
Please.
Mayor. Environmental Commission met last night. They're continuing to work on their ongoing projects for the remainder of the year. Fire Department has 353 calls year to date. Over the last 2 weeks, they were at 2 mutual aid structure fires, and they're on 3 boat calls. DPW is prepping for the paving. As Matt mentioned, it should be starting at the end of this month. They're continuing to cut grass, which is growing very fast with all this rain. And they are starting painting lines around town. And that's all I have this evening.
Good, thank you. Rudy?
Thank you, Mayor. I will be brief on just 2 committee reports. The Planning Board met last Wednesday night, and it was quite uneventful. The only approval was a minor subdivision among 3 lots, actually, 2 on Terrace Heights and 1 on Sycamac. They just realigned some of the lot lines to move some square footage from 1 lot to 2 other lots. There was a soil movement permit on Eugene with a lot of questions, so that was carried till the next meeting. Sewer Committee didn't have such a hot month in June so far. The barn project, Sycamac and Terhune, will be delayed further because the DEP did not approve the amended TWA permit, which included the group home next door to the barn property. They sent it back for some revisions, which are not complicated, but will take some time. And unfortunately, we'll probably push the project beyond summer, so we'll be dealing with it when school is open, which complicates things, because I don't think we can wait another year. Mark DeGennaro came up with a plan to install for a pretty ambitious sewer project on Hartung and Wyckoff Ave. It would come down Hartung from Covington to Wyckoff Ave, and then go from Wyckoff Ave to the end of Russell. It would be a cooperative effort between or among Ridgewood Water, Northwest Bergen Sewer Authority, and the Township of Wyckoff. Last, I believe it was Thursday, a subcommittee from town, consisting of Mark DeGennaro, Scott Fisher, Matt Cavallo, and myself, went to Waldwick to the Sewer Authority and presented the plan, which I think is a great plan, to the chief engineer and the deputy director of the authority. They met with their, subsequently met with their operating committee, which did not give it its approval. So we're looking into other ways to try to keep this project going forward. I think it's in everyone's benefit, and it will give direct access to almost 60 homes on Hartung and Wyckoff Ave. Also the Reformed Church and the Fellowship Hall and a few other houses. And it will give a jumping off point to 200 plus other homes in the Hartung development and Wyckoff Knolls. So I hope we can keep this thing going. I just want to update everyone on that so we know what's going on. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you. I would like to welcome Ari as our visiting scholar here, and thanks for your help, Ari.
Thank you very much.
Scott?
Rudy, just to follow up on that, have we gotten any reason why it was denied?
Matt, you want to take that?
So, the reason that Mark got verbally was that the sewage authority does not want to have a disconnected interceptor.
Right.
Because, as you know, they don't own the line on Wyckoff Ave.
On Russell Ave.
Russell all the way down to the oops. What?
Last year.
Bless you.
Felt it coming on. Even though there's precedence set for, I'm gonna give the area near Brownstone Court, for this to be done. So, we have a couple calls and meetings happened yesterday, today, and I have one again tomorrow with certain people to try and stress the importance of this, because to be blunt, if this doesn't happen, those areas probably will never see sewers.
Right. This is an opportunity that won't
This
come.
is an opportunity
won't
that will
around
never come again.
Right, because aren't we also working with the Ridgewood Water
Correct.
We are. I
as
said it
part of
this
their
week.
application, right? I'm just saying, there's
Correct.
a lot of players involved.
Yes.
And there's a lot of positives
So
that come out of this.
Mark and I met with the new village manager in Ridgewood today. He's meeting with his water and engineering staff on Friday, and I have another meeting scheduled tomorrow with hopefully commissions, or tentatively scheduled with him and commission staff to try and work this out and we're working with our county contacts as well.
Right, and just a follow-up, we also had a Monday conference call, because we're doing our best to try to bridge all the parties involved. It's a great opportunity for everybody to work collaboratively, cooperatively. From Ridgewood Water, to the sewer people, to the township, to the county where it's gonna be in Wyckoff Ave. And for whatever reason, everyone thinks it's a great idea, but there's some little minutiae that hopefully get worked through, because as Rudy says, you have almost 60 homes in Tartung alone, and then once you get down to Wyckoff Ave, you'd have 200. And the alternative, and again, this is brought on by Ridgewood Water needing a sewer line to flush out the water treatment plan that they're gonna have up and running the end of 2025 for improved water quality for all, but the current plan that they would have would only serve a small little area. So I think we're all keeping our fingers crossed. I know I want to thank Mark for coming out with a great idea and all the hard work from Matt and Rudy, and hopefully we get ways to figure out how to make this great project happen.
Rudy, are we gonna, as the sewer committee, are we gonna be able to get down there and maybe talk to their commissioners?
Well, we have some phone calls out. I guess they're meeting tomorrow night. I don't know if this is on the agenda, or, well, it didn't get past the operating committee, so it probably wouldn't be on the agenda tomorrow night.
Right.
They don't meet in
So,
August.
let's see what we come up with in the next day or so. I guess we can go to the meeting.
I will fill, I'll fill everyone in tomorrow. One of my meetings tomorrow is hopefully with the commissioner. As long as we can get it scheduled. It's one of the messages going back and forth right now, so.
Very good.
I'll see where that goes, but as Rudy did say, the meeting with the commissioners is tomorrow at 7 PM in Waldwick, so.
We have sort of a full court press going in a number of fronts here, but,
Good.
Because time is of the essence.
yeah.
My other commissions and duties were late this month, so I just want to, again, congratulate Ari on helping to join us here. I do want to congratulate officially Mr. Landell on his appointment. He's been a longtime friend and colleague, and I wish him the best, and I know he's going to do a fantastic job at that level. And I can't say enough nice things about Rob over the years as a friend and as a co-worker. And I wish you the best, and I know you're going to do just as good a job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. And Nancy, thank you for fixing the website. So now the residents of Wyckoff have the opportunity to email me if they'd like,
No problem.
because it was blocked. I'm not sure exactly what
know.
happened, but
I don't know
You
either.
always gotta be careful what
It's
you wish
fixed
for,
now.
though.
I know, that's all right. That's all right. I'm here to serve
Thank
the
you,
public,
Nancy.
so. I think I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Tim?
Thank you, Mayor. I attended the July 6, 2023 Franklin Lakes Mayor and Council meeting. I attended that meeting because they had the zoning change ordinance for the Signet property, and it was supposed to have been approved that night. But the good news is that they adjourned the approval of that zoning change to July 18th, which is today. But I've heard they've now adjourned that to August 15th. And the reason they gave for the adjournment was they were still having discussions with the developer. But because there was a packed house at that meeting, they took public comment, and there were quite a few people that spoke, including me. And I did speak, and I did bring up that, you know, we've got problems with all those trucks coming into Wyckoff, because they'll come down Wyckoff Ave, and they won't be able to turn onto Franklin Ave, because right-hand turns for trucks are not allowed. The trucks would literally have to go all the way down to at least Russell before they got on 208. And I said, you know, with all the traffic that the trucks, there'd be thousands of trucks, the air quality would be affected in Wyckoff and Franklin Lakes with all those trucks. And I did stress that I live less than half a mile from it, and that would impact, you know, my entire neighborhood, and it would impact the entire township of Wyckoff. So they still haven't approved it yet, but I did suggest to them, if they're talking and they're locked into warehouses, at least talk to them about, you know, no chemical warehouses. Because those chemical warehouses, an explosion of a chemical warehouse would devastate, a good section of Wyckoff and a good section of Franklin Lakes. Because, I told them, investigate what happened when an ammonium nitrate warehouse exploded in Beirut. It damaged property 6.5 miles out, and it killed hundreds of people. I said, that's something that you really shouldn't have, because right now their zoning change has absolutely no restrictions on what type of warehouse could go in there. And it's 2 large 500,000 square foot warehouses, which brings a whole lot of trucks. So you think you have problems of traffic on Wyckoff Ave now, you'll have a lot more. I mean, and you'll have 18-wheelers coming down there if they get approval from the county to let them out onto Wyckoff Ave, because that would still have to go through site plan approval with the county. So anyway, I was able to speak and brought it to their attention how, I objected to it. And then last night we had the rec board meeting. The rec board had their photo taken for our calendar, so the calendar is being worked on for our volunteers. So the rec board was photographed last night. They also approved all the all the football, soccer, and cheerleading coaches for the fall. And they reported how baseball and softball playoffs are underway. And zoning board meets on Thursday. They're supposed to have their picture taken for our calendar as well. I want to congratulate the Honorable Rob Landell on being sworn in as a Bergen County Superior Court judge. I will miss him as our attorney. He did a great job, but I want to welcome Ari. Ari, I know you're going to do a great job as well, so welcome. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. Okay, I only have a couple of things other than what I've already mentioned. One, I attended the special meeting that was here last Thursday night. Second thing is, Matt already talked about it, the SLEO 3 officers for the K-8 schools in St. Elizabeth's, they'll be sworn in on 8:15 here that evening. Even though we have summer attire for that meeting, I would ask that we all wear ties and jackets and ties or suits, and I'll be inviting the superintendent of schools, the administrator, and all members of the Board of Education to that meeting. And I note tonight we have, I think, for the second reading, ordinance 1988 on the ladder truck, which I think we're making good progress. And Matt, can you just, if that goes through the next meeting, we'll be able to move forward with that long overdue, waited for ladder truck, correct?
So pending the approval of the ordinance tonight, there's an ad in next Friday's paper, opening up the 10-day comment period required in order to award a national a contract under a national cooperative, which will close on or around the 10th of August. And then at our next meeting on the 15th of August, we will be able to pass the resolution necessary to award the contract. Sign the contract hopefully within 2 days after that, and then we're looking at 920 calendar days for delivery. So see you all in 3 years.
Right, exactly. All right, well, that's all good news, though.
Yeah.
We're making progress. On the lead time, we started this a year ago, January, so eventually we'll get there, which is great for the residents. Okay, that's all I have to say. So can we have a report from our township attorney, Harry?
Yes, Mayor and Committee, thank you so much for the warm welcome. I couldn't ask for a warmer welcome, and to all the well wishes to Rob Landell, the Honorable Rob Landell. I'll pass those on to him as well. And I know he loved this job, and this was a bittersweet moment. He's happy where he is, but I think he felt very much attached as township attorney. I met with Rob the last couple of weeks to get up to speed on as many issues as possible, so there's still a little bit of a learning curve, but we have all the files in the office. I've been working with Rob and Jen to get up to speed. The 3 things that I can report on, as Rudy discussed, the developer's agreement for the sewer extension for Sycamac and Terhune, as Rudy said that the DEP pushed that back a little bit.
Right.
We did get the comments back from attorney Ken Connor, who's the attorney for the property owners. I've gone over them, so whenever we want to discuss or meet with Mark to go over that, we can do that.
Because Mark's going on vacation Friday for 3 weeks.
Next Thursday.
I thought he was going,
Thursday to the 21st,
He's
22nd
here
of
next,
August.
he's here the beginning of next week.
I didn't know that.
He leaves
I
on
thought Friday
Thursday.
was his last day.
No,
So,
Thursday.
thanks for the correction on
So,
that. So we have some time then to maybe do that. Okay,
Great,
good.
yeah, so I'm here, and whenever,
Good.
whenever you want to do it, we
All
can
right.
sit down with Mark and go over their comments.
Okay.
There was one additional provision, the last one, section 18, but the other ones were not big, were
Okay.
just more grammatical and tightening it up.
Well, that's good news, so we can get that buttoned down. That's great. Thank
Right.
you.
As Matt had said, the audit, that you've concluded the audit, and so I was asked as the township attorney to prepare a continuation letter just to follow Township Attorney Rob Landel's letter from June up until the present, which I will do. I'll send to Diana by Friday, as requested. Bush Road, we had been requesting the title work, and Jen told me today that the title work came in. So I'll get that, and I'll start working on that. So those are the matters that I've been working on. Again, thank you so much for the opportunity, and I'm happy to help.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Mayor, I have one other thing that I forgot to report. Lakeland Bank and ShopRite are gonna come on the 15th to present checks for the fireworks. So if you could put that on the agenda. that
They
would
coming
be-
at 7 or 8?
They can come at 7 or 8, whichever one you want.
7's always easier
All right,
unless they have a
why don't we put it
conflict, they
on for
come at 8.
7?
Like, you're handling that?
Yeah,
All right, so could you tell them 7
yeah, I'll tell
o'clock?
them 7 PM.
Nancy, we're good for that?
That's fine, yes, because at 8 PM we'll do the Slios then.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it's Lakeland and ShopRite.
Great.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn the business meeting, please?
The work session.
Work session?
A motion to adjourn the work session.
Thank you. Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Madigan?
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Okay, great.